Hey, what's up, Eagle Nation? It's your boy Ill Will, and this is the Eagles Raw Report. What a great weekend for the Philadelphia Eagles. We won, and we didn't even play a game. We won this weekend, and we didn't even play a game. First, on Sunday, we was able to see the Atlanta Falcons, clap it up for them, take out the Washington Redskins. They definitely took big blows on their offensive line, which starts the spiraling of the Washington Redskins. Enough about them because that's where it ends. It ended last week. Dallas Cowboys, they acquired Amari Cooper for a first-round pick, went on a bye, had time to prepare, came back off that bye, and then Monday night happened. They started off fast. That defensive line, man, they were getting off the ball. They were getting to Mariota. They were causing turnovers. But, of course, Dak Prescott could not cash every turnover in. Turning the ball over in good old Dak form. In the fourth quarter of that game, Dallas tried to run. I can't even call it the Philly. They tried to run the shitty. Dak Prescott couldn't get open, and he was in coverage, and Beasley tried to throw him the ball, and it was overthrown. It was terrible. So we're just gonna call that play the shitty. But enough about that game. Dallas lost. I actually did not expect them to lose. Surprisingly, I actually did not expect them to lose. I expected them to win that game because I don't look at Tennessee as a good team. But with that being said, thank you, Tennessee, for starting the spiral of the Dallas Cowboys. They're already going crazy in the media and in that locker room. I know the pointing of the fingers is starting, but the Eagles are approaching their Sunday night matchup against the Dallas Cowboys in Philadelphia, and we have similarities coming off of our bye because we too acquired a wide receiver, went into a bye, and coming back and playing a primetime game. But I think that we will do it the right way, and we will win that game coming off of the bye, having the time to prepare. So this is my keys to victory. So the injury report, Lane Johnson, who was expected to miss at least a month from a MCL sprain, is expected to play Sunday, which is huge because DeMarcus Lawrence is on that side. And if you watch the game this past Monday night, you would see DeMarcus Lawrence is a problem. Now, last year, Lane Johnson was able to tame him. You know, it seemed like he was almost about to get the Carson Wentz, but Lane Johnson didn't allow it to happen. Now, with him being not fully 100%, I don't know how that would affect him, but we're definitely going to need Lane Johnson to step up to the plate big time because we cannot allow Carson Wentz to get pressured. And that's, I'll get to the keys of victory just in a second. Timmy Jernigan, huge return for the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line. I believe this is where the Eagles start to trend upward because I believe from the beginning of the season, he was the missing piece to generate that pressure. I feel like he was the missing piece. The reason why it didn't look the same because of that important piece. Timmy Jernigan, defensive tackle, working side by side with Fletcher Cox is major. It is a major return. Now, they did not say that he was scheduled to play, but if he does, it is a huge return for the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line. That pass rush would become to normal form. We will start to see flashes of last year. That's if he plays. Now, if he doesn't, I'm not saying that we won't get to Dak Prescott because the Dallas Cowboys line isn't what it used to be. But with Timmy Jernigan in that lineup, it will be that much better. I will feel that much confident in that defensive line getting Dak Prescott. Darren Sproles is actually supposed to come back and play. I expected him to come back at this game. I didn't expect him to miss all that time from the Atlanta game leading up to now, but I figured after the fourth or fifth game that he didn't play, I figured that after the bye he would be 100% ready to go. And another addition, not an injury update, is the acquisition of Golden Tate. Golden Tate, wide receiver, acquired from the Detroit Lions for a third-round pick. This is about to change everything. Golden Tate, the playmaker, is about to open up the field, and this right here is where the Eagles' running game returns. With that individual on the field, opening up the field, making big plays is going to make the defensive backs back up, and that's going to give us the opportunity to run the ball however we want. Doug Peterson could do all the wild plays, the sweeps, the tosses, because I would rather him run it down the middle, but Doug Peterson could do any type of run play he wants now that he has Golden Tate on the field. Any type of run play he wants. And guess what? We will succeed because they're not going to be packing the box. Because if they pack the box, this is not Dak Prescott they're playing. They're playing Carson Wentz. And if they pack the box, we will make them pay. So we don't have to worry about that at all. We don't have to worry about that at all. Now, my keys to victory now. One, protect Carson Wentz. The offensive line has to play a pretty solid game. We can't have Carson Wentz getting hit. Period. We can't risk any injury. We don't want him to go down. The hits leads to turnovers. Keep him clean. Keep the pocket clean. Give Carson time to look at his reads and get rid of the ball. I want Carson Wentz to actually get rid of the ball and not hold on to it as long. Run the ball. Get Josh Adams even more involved. In London, he had 9 carries for 61 yards. We need to give him 18 now. Or you know what? I guess that's a big jump. Let's go with 15. 15 carries and see what he could do. He went 9 and then went 9 carries, 61 yards in London. Let's see what he could do with 15. Let's get him more involved because there has to be a main guy that's running the ball, that's pounding the rock. And he was doing a good job. I'm not taking nothing away from Wendell Smallwood. He did a solid job as well. But the main guy that needs to be the featured back is Josh Adams. Josh Adams needs to be the featured back. And that's all I have for the offense because I don't even have to speak on what Alshon has to do, what Golden Tate has to do, what Nelson Aguilar has to do, what Zach Ertz has to do, because we already know what they're going to do. So I don't even need to waste my breath and talk about that. Now, jump into the defensive side of the ball. The defensive backs, I hate saying this because I don't wish injury on no one ever, not at any time. But when Jalen Mills went out the game in London, the defensive backs didn't look that bad. And Anthony Maddox, solid safety play. So I'm not worried there. So right now, the only question is the cornerback spot. If Jalen Mills doesn't play, we can play any type of style of pressure or loose coverage, however we want, because I don't think that we would be worrying about the big play over top, because I think that Rasul Douglas has the recovery speed, and I don't think he will bite that much. We haven't seen him outside enough to see if he would bite on a double move, but it looked pretty good in London. So if Jalen Mills doesn't play, because I heard he is week to week, if he doesn't play, look for a big game from Rasul Douglas, because it is a possibility that Rasul Douglas is going to take over that job sooner or later. And if he does a stellar job this Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys, best to believe that Jalen Mills is his role, they're gonna have to go to the table and talk about that one. But pressuring Dak, stack the box. We already know the formula. We've been watching it for weeks. Stack the box with the Dallas Cowboys. Force Dak Prescott to take over the game, which he cannot. It's easy. You stack the box, you stop Zeke, they're going to try to run on first down. They might try to run on second down or play action. And then on third down, you already know what they have to do. And then just play coverage and then get ready for the Dak disaster. Get ready for the Dak disaster. That's exactly what's going to happen. So the formula is already set. As we've been watching it week to week, all Eagles have to do is just follow through. We're just going to jump in line and continue doing what everybody else were doing, what the Washington Redskins did, what the Tennessee Titans did, what every team that beat the Dallas Cowboys this year did. We'll stack the box, stop Ezekiel Elliott, and force Dak Prescott to take over the game, which he cannot. It's that simple. And that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. It shouldn't be a hard game. Yes, we know this team is trying to fight their way back into the NFC East. And honestly, this is where we need to go ahead and grab that dagger, throw it through their chest, put them in the coffin, bury them, and tell them go ahead on the flight to next year. And they can start their next year talk. And they can get their good old early first round pick. Oops! They gave it up for Amari Cooper. So the worse their record get, the higher the Raiders' first round pick looks. And Dallas, I can guarantee they're going to be crying watching Oakland Raiders get their first round pick next week. Because right now, as it looks, as the way the picture is, as the blueprint is looking, Dallas is looking like they're going to have a top 15, possibly a top 10 pick. And that's my keys to victory. That's how we beat the Dallas Cowboys. That's how the Philadelphia Eagles begin their trend upward towards winning the NFC East. Baby steps. I'm not talking about winning the Super Bowl, winning any playoff games. Just baby steps. All we have to do is win the NFC East, and the rest will take care of itself. Until next time, this is the Eagles Raw Report, and I am your boy Ill Will.